All right, awesome. Glinton things. We got the Wolverine, the OG, one half of Get With the Programming, the Enforcer on Jeopardy,
The judge. The
and the
judge
owner,
because I lost in my own show. How lame is that? Couldn't even win in my own show.
and the owner of CrossFit Inferno, dude, Mr. Bill Grundler. Thank you, man. Really
Hi.
appreciate this. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Stoked to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
So we,
So look how giddy you guys are right now. And I said this earlier. You guys have already started talking to all the names. Like
I
you
know.
guys should be, you guys should be as cool characters now as like Sevon when he's on the show. He could just talk to himself and just
We get there.
okay.
We
Okay,
get
good.
there. The
yeah,
beginning is always
eventually,
like
yeah, it's like, holy crap.
fangirling. Holy crap, we're
Yeah.
actually talking to you guys. And the biggest thing for me that I've seen in all of this is that you guys are just really cool people. I mean, taking time out of your schedules. I know we were talking briefly for a couple minutes before we went live and like how busy your schedules are. All of you
Yeah.
guys are so busy and you guys still say yes to her. You'll say yes to me and you guys make the time to come and hang out with us. And I know she probably had this in a question down the line, but like, why do you do that? Why do you think it's important or something that you choose to do?
Well, first, I'm stoked to be here. I was when I saw the Sevon was on there and Chase was on there, then I'm like, what? John Young got on there before me? Oh man, I'm gonna have to have a talk with those guys. No, there's something about especially the people that have been around CrossFit. Like I think a lot of the new people in CrossFit, there's that starry-eyed kind of thing, and everyone's kind of fired up about the workouts and saying what's the what and whatever they want to say, like all those things. Which a lot of the people that you've talked to now did that 10, 12,
First.
15 years ago. So, I don't talk about the WOD necessarily anymore, or like, hey, look at my torn hands, or that kind of thing. Like we're in this CrossFit thing, and it's just something that we do, and it's something that really who we are now. And anytime we can be part of any part of that, not just the CrossFit Games, but like, I mean, all of us have been, in the affiliate and coached people and gone through our level 1 processes or level 2, level 3, level 4 or whatever, and been in the broadcast or the media space. And so like, we love all these things. And so it's really hard to say no. And I will tell you right now, one of the hardest things for me, I mean, you talked about schedules earlier, is like me and Chase trying to juggle our schedules to do our own show. And then he'll be like, hey man, I got to put this show out though. I know you can't make it. I got to put it out. So he'll hop, he'll do his thing and do the show, and John will hop on or whatever. And I'll be whatever I'm doing, if I'm having to coach or if I have to pick up my daughter or whatever. And I'm looking at the thing and I'm like, God dang it. I wish I could be on that show right now. I should be on that show right now. I mean, that's our world. That's what we do. So it's really hard to say no because it's just fun. I love that stuff. All the parts.
Hey, well, I started this with Chase last week, so I'll start it with you this week. Just because Jeopardy was on yesterday and it was also fire. It was so fire. I have not how did you not start laughing? Like I legit was like bursting out laughing in the middle of the deli at the middle of lunch hour, just crying because of Hiller. Like I loved I loved your guests, but just the fact that Hiller wouldn't stop talking
Oh my
was
gosh.
like,
Well, okay, so we all do our shows, right? So, I
yeah,
mean, we have our podcast, and Hiller's got his videos that he put out. He puts out, or he'll hop on with Sevon or whatever. We're so used to talking podcast tempo
yeah.
that when there's a game show, it gets totally thrown off. So, like there's the Death by that Talking Elite Fitness does, that Chase gets on there.
Yeah.
And I'll watch that sometimes, and it's hard because it's like it's in the form of a game show, but it's really ends up being podcasty where everyone's just kind of rambling. And then Pedro did his on the around the whiteboard
Yep.
fast. So it's you only got 60 seconds, so you're like, oh shit. So now all of a sudden that began kind of the the game show style where you're kind of off the podcast. And so Chase is, I mean, it's really hard for me too, because we'll get on early and he's kind of getting all this thing set. But like when it's done, it's like click, click, click. Everyone like clicks off. You're like, oh, we're not going to do that little after where we just kind of talk and hang out afterwards. It's that show's done. Boom, done. You know, time. It's time. It's not a 2-hour thing. And so I don't know if Hiller was really used to that because he just was flapping his jaws all over the place.
It was obvious too that he's never seen Jeopardy. He's never once seen Jeopardy.
Right. But he did great on answering the what, you know, the what is or the who is, you know, way better than we did. So I know he was pissed and I felt bad. I knew that some of the, as we get more into it, the people are going to be a lot faster on answering the questions. So I knew it was going to be really important for me to watch. And it was hard because I'm looking at my screen and I see the three of them and I so bad want to read what the question is. So that I just, I'm a nerd too, man. I want to play the game. But I got to watch to see who puts their hands up first. So I'm like, oh, that was Keith. Oh, that was Aaliyah. And I know that like Hiller was like, dude, what? I know he was getting pissed. I feel bad about that. Like shit. I'm going to be on a shit list now for a while.
Watch out. Your video is coming, Bill.
Right. Totally. I know.
So, but Jeopardy like is the most, it's the least like competitive game ever. And now you've had John Young and Hiller. And like even both of them are like, when they now you made Jeopardy competitive. Like it's like
well, you guys saw like when we had Taylor on there, right? I mean, it was it was so funny just to listen to the things that were coming out of his mouth, let alone the competitive part. But that, I mean, we're all CrossFitters.
Yeah.
And everybody looks on the board, whether they say they're competitive or not. They know what everyone's getting. So yeah, we're not competitive. Bullshit. We're all competitive.
Yeah.
So here we are in the least competitive deal, and we're making it as competitive as possible.
Well, I know you pick the next guests with the winner of the shows. Right. And then the winner stays and then keeps going until they lose and then they, leave the show. Have you ever thought of like a bonus out there where you have John Young, Hiller, and Taylor Self all on? Just for like a bonus
bonus show,
a bonus show that's not going with like the trajectory of what the show is going right now, but just for like she was saying, like the shit talking, the yelling at Chase yelling back. Like, have you thought about like just having those three personalities on there?
There were so many good sound bites from that one.
So
many good ones. Without a doubt, that's going to happen. I mean, just for the sheer enjoyment of it. Like any show, I think it takes a couple to kind of run some of the bugs out. And I mean, already with the ones that we've done, they've gotten better every single time. The questions have gotten really good. The way that people are answering, it's now not about, are you going to remember to say who is or what is, but it's actually answering the questions. You can actually kind of get into the question now, which I think is really, really cool. So I can see very easily there being I know he wants to do a champions event where
like
you get
tournament of champions,
turn of the champions kind of thing. And that there's going to be like a celebrity one where we have those three guys come out. And honestly, if that's the case, I don't know if we'll be able to get through a 30-minute show.
No.
Like every single question, it's going to be, Taylor talking crap and John getting all fired up and Chase telling him to shut the fuck up. And then, everybody around Hiller, like, hopping in there and answering a question with like 18 sentences so he can get the answer in that. It'll be super fun though, man. That'll be one that I hope we do at nighttime, and I'll be sure to have beer at the same time that I'm watching the show.
And for sure.
And then also too, let's just get this out of the way. Did you see Taylor kill Taylor today?
I didn't see it today. I was coaching it. So what happened? What happened?
Bro,
Ooh.
It was...
Well, first of all, what was it? What was the workout?
Spoiler alert. Oh, okay.
You can spoil it. Go ahead. It's okay. I'm going to go back and watch it anyway.
So it was 2 rounds, 40 GHDs, 40 alternating dumbbell snatches,
50 pounds.
50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yo, he did it in
gross.
It
right?
looked gross.
Yeah. He did it in what, 4:30 something?
No, 3:39.
Okay.
And then, so a couple guys went on. They did great, but Sevon cut them off because that's what Sevon said he was about to start doing is like, hey, not talking to you after this. If you're over, you get
lose,
cut off.
You're done.
So they got cut off. Then there was a semifinals athlete. He went. He from CrossFit Krypton, like literally
Oh, okay.
Ben Smith was in the room.
Yeah.
And he did it and missed the last, like he only did 39 reps of the snatches on the last round.
Oh.
Because they went back and counted. There was a whole
Thank you, Kenneth.
Yeah, Kenneth. Oh, 439. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. My bad. Sorry.
How
Love
dare
Taylor.
you.
I know. My bad. You're the man, Kenneth. Love you. So he missed the and it was amazing because if that had been 40 reps, that he would have beat him by like a second. So it was super cool.
Oh man.
So close. And the boys were out. You just have to
Like,
watch it for the boys on the side of the screen.
You have to just.
Caleb was like, "What? Oh,
like,
I love it.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna
It was
happen."
amazing.
Sevon was sweating. He was like,
Taylor wasn't talking.
Yeah.
Like his hands were in his head or whatever, but he didn't get it. So then there was one more guy, the last guy. He I don't know what he looked like. He looked like he was out of Duck Dynasty. And like
they kept calling him a meth head.
Well, I mean, you got to figure it. I mean, they said that's the hard thing. For people to compete and to trash talk the whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
they did.
Yeah,
I believe it. I believe it.
My man was awesome, and he finished in 431.
Beat him
by like 8 seconds.
No way.
Gets the money. Yep.
The whole thing.
Wow.
And the funniest part was Sevon's like, I don't know how we're getting the money to you.
Like, oh, shit.
Like, dude, DM me or something. I don't know how.
Oh my gosh. What I love with Sevon and stuff like that is he is of the old days of CrossFit where you're always, for whatever reason, always behind the 8 ball with big expectations. I mean, still take care of whatever needs to get taken care of, but you're kind of like, I don't know how we're going to do that. We'll figure something out. It gets done, but there's a whole lot of duct tape and Bondo and everything else you got to put on there to make it actually work, which is really silly. That's awesome. I got to watch it.
It was funny. Yeah, you definitely have to watch it.
Those things are so fun. That is a brilliant idea.
Most
to have engagement like that. And it is insane. I mean, granted, it's nice when you have Sevon has such a great following anyway. So like anything that he does, people are going to watch, which is really cool. So you can come up with ideas like that to just engage people. And who's not going to be engaged with the chance of winning money, the chance of, I mean, people are already figuring it out. It's like, oh, I get to have my face now on the Sevon show, and I get to have my little 4.5 minutes of fame, maybe not 15 seconds or whatever, but like 4.5 minutes of fame with all of these guys getting to just shit talk. Mm-hmm. How cool is that? So it's like, there's a lot of really cool things community wise that throws that in there, which I think it's awesome.
The community around it is really fun.
Yeah.
Like it's so fun. And it's kind of more engaging. Like I obviously you're the OG. You came into CrossFit way early and you had the, I can't wait to get your shirt, the Pukey. And because that's
so cool, right?
So excited for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we came in to the CrossFit space as well. And it just hasn't felt like that in a little while. And now, right now is where it feels like there's community, but you have to go find that community, right? It's not, I haven't seen it in the CrossFit space in a minute, except for this and what you guys are doing.
Yeah. When did you guys get in it? How long ago?
16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we did my first open was 17 with the 10 rounds of double unders and thrusters and
yeah.
Pukey.
I remember that one. I think that it has been very hard as of late with CrossFit for people that have been around a while, because we know what it felt like and we know what it means to us. And so when there's a lot of dumb things that are happening it gets really, really hard. I mean, our guiding light what used to be HQ, and not that HQ isn't doing things that they need to do as far as, we still have .com out there. There's still workouts that are out there. They're trying to do things for the affiliate. They're obviously some pluses and some minuses of things that have gone on. But where I think people are like the fun, the I'll follow this group off into battle. I can't, like, I will do the grossest workout with these people.
Camaraderie.
I'll just do these crazy dumb things and we're laughing the whole that I think this group that we're all in with raising the flag of that like OG feel, of that the cult. I mean, they used to joke, all you CrossFitters, it's a cult.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
before we said no, we're not. Now it's like, hell yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
And that's okay, man. I mean, that's where our OG thing came from, was that. It was I'm like, let's bring it back, dude. Like, it is the cult. That, like, we can't be afraid of that cult anymore. And so you're right. It's really nice to have that out. And if for whatever reason, if CrossFit is feeling that they need to do different things, we know what we enjoyed, and they haven't yet told us to stop whatever it is that we're doing. So we're going to talk CrossFit-y stuff, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to, get people's minds
moving and
debating and talking about. And that's what's great about Sevon's show, is like, he doesn't just talk CrossFit. I mean, that guy's all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. And CrossFit used to be that way. I mean, every Thursday or every third day on the rest day, there would be a read this, and it was some against the grain magazine article, and it was politics, it was health and nutrition, it was whatever, and it was always like what do you think about this? Not what the normal topic was of the day, or the regular, everyone agreed upon view. It was this other skewed view, and at least it made people think about it. So there'd be all this discussion in the comments, and that's what we're all doing that now, which is cool. You guys are in that group in the same type of thing. And it's fun. It's fun. And that's what we need. That's what CrossFit has always been. It's been fun. It's been hard as shit, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we need that. We need that space to be able to come to the table. And that was something that was very important to, because Garrett was the one that started this, and then of course was like, hey, come do this with me.
Yeah.
She really wanted to be a feel of what we call coming to the kitchen table, where we would sit down and everybody, no matter where you came from, walks of life and whatever. And we got that from our family, because every single person comes from somebody different, and you could just sit down and you can pop open a beer, you can eat together, you can talk together. It's okay if you don't agree with each other when you leave, but there's respect and there's appreciation and there's gratitude for that. So it was always very important for us to be able to have that same kind of feel of like, come talk. You don't have to agree with me, but let's have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
So you've been in CrossFit for a long time, and there's been a lot of...
I'm going to be the oldest guy that you put on here. You realize that, right? By far.
Nah, man.
I'm older than Sevon. I may look younger than Sevon, but
you're
I'm
older than Sevon?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to blast him.
You should.
You definitely
what is he, 50? He's 51? 52?
Yeah, I think
51?
so.
I'm going to be 55 in like 2 weeks.
No way.
Yeah.
Bro, you look amazing.
Yeah.
Like
everybody's like, I don't look...
The new do that you guys all got. So you've been in CrossFit for a long time. And so obviously you've seen a lot of the changes. And that's the thing, when you are growing something, like you were talking about with the podcast of like working out all of the kinks, all of the stuff, what works, what doesn't work, and you're trying to figure it out. You've been through all of the changes throughout the growth process of CrossFit. What has been the hardest growth that you've had to witness, go through yourself, process yourself, work with your members on? Like, what's been the hardest part of the growth that you've had to work with watching or being a part of CrossFit?
Are you talking about CrossFit as a whole, or like my gym personally?
You could do both.
Okay. I think the hardest thing on the CrossFit side was, I'm a massive fan of Greg Glassman. What I always loved about him is how he would answer certain questions, and he would make very technical type things not very technical, but sound super eloquent. And that was always one of the things, simple but eloquent. He always talked about that kind of stuff. He was one of those guys that if he said this is the way, it was a lot for me to be like, nah, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I mean, I liked everything he had to say. The hardest thing that hit me was 2018. And this was kind of the start of I think a lot of the difficulties within CrossFit. 2018, the best year of CrossFit ever. Best games, the best the regionals that were going on. The programs were great. The media was incredible. And we found out that year, that was when a lot of the transgender type stuff was coming out. And at the time it was you compete in the group, whatever, and it was the kind of the Olympic kind of setup. Whatever you were born, whatever chromosome you were born with, that's who you're going to compete with. And then all of a sudden, and he always was very staunch on that. And then all of a sudden, he changed it to it was whoever you identify, you can compete in that group. Oof. And I was really, really confused by that, coming from a guy that was that I would have never thought I would have heard that come from him.
Yeah.
No.
And it was a trip, because I was joking with one of the people I was working with, who was working with the media stuff with us. And I was like, so I want to get to the games. I can just say that I think I'm a girl now, and I can go and compete. And they're like, don't be silly. It would never happen like that. And I'm like, at the time, this is way back then. This is none of the other sports stuff has happened yet. And I'm like, anytime it's not a matter of if something, you open the door, someone will do it. I mean, regardless, someone will. And I am a purist when it comes to sport. I feel that there is a code of honor, a code of ethics, a warrior's creed kind of thing, whatever you want to look at.
You think he might have been trying to prove a point with that? Like, do you think if he had let a dude come in there and done it, and then obviously he would have won because he's a dude,
right?
Like, do you think that would have just been a point he would have been like, hey,
you're talking about Glassman, or you're talking about the person who came in to fake it?
No, I'm talking about Glassman. Like, hey, we shouldn't do this because this is what's going to happen if we do this. I mean, it's a slippery slope.
I don't know. I agree. I think that there were so there was around. I mean, you had the COVID stuff coming in. I mean, there were a lot of very take your entire plate and flip it upside down kind of questions that happened during that time, where there were a lot of kind of, I feel anyway, some very knee reaction actions. And I think that was one of them. I mean, if the Olympics is all of a sudden going to say that, when you're like, well, I mean, it's the Olympics. Why wouldn't they be looking for everyone? I mean, looking for the purest. The Olympics is about pure sport, at least it's supposed to be. I realize now that that's not the case, but I've always felt that way. So I was shocked with that. I think if there was anyone, I mean, look what's happened over the years now since then. You have, what was the guy's name that won the women's swimming that just destroyed everyone?
Leah Thomas.
Yeah, Leah Thompson. And then who was the blonde girl? And I should know her name, and I feel terrible. The blonde girl that's been doing all the petitioning against
Riley Gaines.
Yeah.
I have 2 daughters. I'll tell you what, if I will always have, I am always for training, to give it everything you have, to prepare yourself as best you can to get out there and put it on the line. And if you win, great. If you lose, whatever, you learn to get better, whatever, but not in that situation. And that to me is the same thing as people taking PEDs or whatever when they're competing. That's really, really hard. So that was that first one. That one shocked me.
Yeah.
The next one was, and and this wasn't bad on Greg necessarily, because like no one knew all the George Floyd stuff that was going on. Again, it was a very weird time for a lot of people. No one knew how to stand up and say certain things. And if you said something, you were like immediately ostracized from everyone.
Yep.
But when he did the Floyd 19 thing, I honestly thought it was kind of funny because I just kind of picked up on what he was saying. Like I read the whole thing. It wasn't just part of it. But the fallout that came from that, all these CrossFit gyms were having to deal with now. And I know I remember being on this Zoom meeting with a bunch of there was probably like 20 CrossFit gyms all on the meeting. And everyone's like, I don't know what to do. I have to change my name because everyone thinks that we're racist and everyone's, I'm going to lose all my membership. And that was really, really hard. And it was like, man, I don't ever want Greg to say, I don't ever want to tell him what to or not to do to say, but he made that comment, and I don't think it was intentional for us to have to deal with, but he made that comment, and now all of us were having to deal with that. And that was like, God dang it. That was really hard. And I mean, I had a lot of talks with our members here who were upset with that. And I was hey, look, this CrossFit Inferno is our CrossFit. Yeah, but I don't want to pay my dues and have that money go to him. I'm like, your money isn't going to him. Your money is going to this gym so we can keep our doors open. My money is going to keep that name because I agree with what the name is. It doesn't say Greg Glassman. It says CrossFit.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a semantics dance, I guess. But the fact of the matter is that I believe in everything of the methodology of what CrossFit is. And I, as a lifelong athlete, there is nothing better out there. And I don't care what sport, what activity, what health issue you have. And so if I believe that strongly in something, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirected the light onto that word and what that word is rather than all of the other stuff that was getting painted with, with whatever. I didn't even want to get into the conversation with him because then it's a he said, she said sort of thing. And I'm like, this is not about what we're talking about.
It almost sounded like it almost sounded like that you had to ask your athletes at your gym to say, trust me, let me lead you.
Right.
Whereas because you believe in it so much that was it difficult for you to have to, because when you hear CrossFit, and we drank the Kool-Aid too when we first started, and CrossFit is linked to Greg.
Right.
Was it difficult for you to have to separate the two in order to be that light for your members to stay because you believe so strongly in the CrossFit methodology?
Yeah, I knew that it was in, like, I'm here in San Luis Obispo, California, which is right between like LA and San Francisco. It's on the coast. It's very pretty. I tease that it's like white Wonder Bread out here, so if you have any sort of situation that comes up like that, like it's very easy. It's very blue. I'll put it that way. So if there's a shot of something being, or at least appear to be something racist, then that could be damaging in this area. And so it was tough because my initial reaction was like, okay, let's just wait a second. Let's just see let me figure this out before we just make a big, whatever. Once I figured it out, and or at least what I felt, it was like, okay, I'm the owner of this place. I'm the leader of this place. And I need to show my members the reason that they're here. They're not here because of Greg Glassman. They've never seen the guy before. They don't know. They know the name. Maybe they've been around and they've nerded out for a while. They don't know Greg. They know me. And so I was like, okay, here's an opportunity for me to educate our people. You aren't just coming to a gym to work out. Like a lot of times people would be like, oh, I'm going to CrossFit. You're not going to CrossFit. You're going to CrossFit Inferno. And there's a difference. Because, just like with anything, and this isn't a bad on a CrossFit thing, I don't think at all. In fact, I really like this part is there are going to be good CrossFit gyms and there are going to be shitty CrossFit gyms. There are going to be good CrossFit coaches and there are going to be shitty CrossFit coaches. And I'm telling you guys, my members, you are at a very OG, very conscientious, very caring CrossFit gym that is going to give you a very potent stimulus to make you the best version of yourself. You're going to, and you're going to get that from me because CrossFit Inferno is what you guys belong to.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it as easy as it is to say that, like, there's always the inside, we're like, oh, fuck, I hope they're buying this. You know what I mean? But like, you have to kind of believe, you got to believe it yourself. If you don't, it's really hard. And so on that conversation with the Zoom call, I mean, there were, I don't want to say arguments, but there were some pretty heated discussions where that was my stance with these other people. And I think what I was trying to do with them was don't let the narrative dictate what we are now becoming.
Mm.
We are here because of CrossFit. You guys all decided to open up a CrossFit gym because of what it was, not because of Greg, but because of what it was. And it's your job now as the leader of your gym, whichever gym it was, to educate. That's what we do. We were supposed to educate. Hey, I mean, and that's the same as CrossFit's dangerous. Come and talk to me. I'll tell you that it's not. I love when people think that. I know that a lot of CrossFit affiliate owners hate that conversation. I hate that everyone thinks that it's terrible and it's hard, and I need to program down so that so that I don't scare people. If you're afraid, I'm going to educate you. My job is to educate. I'm a coach. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same situation. I got to educate. So that was in my gym. Like, that was a hard thing to deal with. The COVID stuff was easy. We did what we had to do. We pivoted as we needed to, whatever the city would let us do as far as like trying to stay open. We worked out outside. We did all that. But that one piece where it was not, are we going to be, healthy or not healthy with COVID, but are we going to be racist or not racist with the name on there? That's a tough one. And I'm glad that we came through that. And I think even for me, as far as like an owner goes, that solidified for me what my job is for my people, for my members.
Yeah. Hey, I think it even like goes to, people think the American flag is racist. Like, if you hang it, you're racist. If you have CrossFit in the name of your gym, you're racist. If you like, we're coming out of, or at least I hope we're coming out of that now, or at least people are being like, yeah, I don't give a crap what you think. I'm not racist. I'm going to hang it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly that flag anyway. Whatever you think, I don't give a crap. And I hope that that's where we're getting. And I think more people are getting to that place at this point.
It's crazy. I know, like on Sevon's shows, I mean, he has his opinion and he's very vocal about his opinion. And it's easier to be very vocal about your opinion when like your people are coming in. And I mean, I don't need to have my monthly memberships to keep the door open if I have a podcast. I mean, my podcast can run and eventually people will come around to it or whatever. When you have a gym and you're counting on people being there, and let's say you have 100 members or 120 members, and you're worried now that you're going to lose 60 because of I'm still keeping the name CrossFit, or because I'm going to hang an American flag in my gym. And I think that there has to be, like I said, education, one, but what are we really here doing? And then two, I have always made sure that we are very non-political when it comes to being in here in the gym. I mean, I have all kinds in the gym. I have very liberal, I have very conservative, I have my flat earth people, I have my, my vegans, I have my everything that's on the news is the actual truth. I have everything.
Yeah.
Everything under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that works is that we talk thrusters, we talk burpees, we talk, healthy eating, we talk, movement patterns, we talk, hey, if you need help moving your stuff from here to here, we got a bunch of people that are going to do it. And that's kind of where we keep it for the most part.
But that was always the way, right? Like, you could have a neighbor that was super liberal, you would be super conservative, or vice versa. And you waved to each other in the parking lot, you had barbecues, you weren't talking politics, you weren't talking religion, you weren't what was that thing my grandfather always used to say, like, in-house is politics and religion, outside of the house, like, you just don't talk politics and religion,
Right.
and, like, everybody's friends. It's not it wasn't a big deal. Nobody was trying to, like, profess all this, like, internal things onto other people you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
totally. Well, and it's not my job. It's not my job to. I mean, there are churches for that. Go to your
yeah,
church for that. Go to your, your city council if you want to go and talk. We have those places. It's not my job to push that narrative. I have my opinions,
yeah,
and I'm solid on on my opinions, and I will let people talk like amongst themselves as long as they're being cool. I've had, I've had, I don't want to say a lot of people. I've had people at the gym that have been, they will not like a particular comment, or like someone wears like a, Go Brandon hat or shirt or something like that, and it's like,
Mhm.
that this person will come up and be like, we don't do that here. We don't do politics. And it's like, oh my God, dude, you're doing politics by saying that we're not doing
yeah,
politics.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
This
not
isn't
like,
racial, but
no.
let's talk about race right now.
Right,
Like,
totally.
Yeah.
And so it's I think, I will let people, and that's kind of that's the coach, the teacher, the parental kind of part of the gym, the leader, where it's like you let people play in the sandbox until someone is just being a jerk, and it's like, well, okay, we're not talking about that anymore. Okay, here we go, getting rid of the clock. I mean, once the clock starts, it all goes
Yeah.
away anyway.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I think that's important. It's my job to make it a safe, and that sounds stupid. I hate that word too.
don't
It's a safe
don't say it.
place.
It's fine.
You
Don't
know what
say it.
I mean?
Don't say it.
It's
Don't say it.
I
Don't
will
say it.
say this. It's not the
We
safe
all say it.
place.
It's okay.
It's the right place.
There you go.
There you go.
There
Yeah,
you
Not a
go.
safe
for
That's a
sure.
good
place.
one.
It's the right
The right
place.
place.
There you go.
I like it.
I wanna backtrack a little bit. I wanna know how old were you when you had your first daughter?
I think it was like 20, 27, 27, 28, somewhere in there. She's gonna be. You want to hear something crazy? You guys probably know this. So I have two daughters.
Yes.
Um, the exact same birthday, 14 years apart.
Wow.
Wow. That's
I
crazy.
It's loony. It
Yeah.
doesn't make my world very very. I like to keep things difficult. I like to keep things
Right.
exciting and all that
You
kind of
want to start all over again after that?
That was what you do. Yeah.
But so yeah, so I think she was 28. They're gonna be so their birthdays are the 24th, May 24th,
That's crazy,
and
dude.
so
You have a
Jolie's gonna
biological clock.
whatever. I'm still 37, so I don't know what the problem is. So I think they're 23 and 9 is what they're gonna be. Yeah,
So you're so this is like
14, Kenneth,
two
14.
2004. Oh, sorry. How many years? Oh,
No, he
14.
just asked.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just
14. Yeah.
answering.
So this is like mid or I say mid 2000s, but we're in the whatever.
Right.
Like so like 2004-ish, 2003-ish, right? Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she was 2001. She was 2001. She was born.
Okay.
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 2001.
There you go.
Thank you. Um, and at that point, there's no real like the internet's not crazy. There's no phones that you can do weird crap with. There's, you know what I mean? Like it's just the internet's just starting.
Yeah.
So when you have her and she's born, is there like, do you have this immediate like, oh my God, I have a girl? Is there this like initial how am I gonna parent her? She's never gonna meet a boy. She's never gonna like, that thing where you first start thinking about it and it's like, no,
Uh,
no dudes can come to my house. She can't go out past 8 o'clock ever in her life till she's 30, that sort of thing.
no, I think I didn't see it as that necessarily. What I did, I'm an older guy for sure, but I'm young at heart, and I grew up like with my parents. My dad, like we played hard. So I mean, mountain climbing stuff and running stuff and, playing crazy hide and seek games. And I mean, it was like rough housing, fun play. And that's what I did with Alexis when she was young. And, I mean, I grew up with all boys. It was just my mom. It was like my mom and dad and then 3 boys. So so when I heard that I was going to have a daughter, I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do with a daughter. I have absolutely no idea. In all reality, it was probably the best thing that could have ever happened for me as far as having, an offspring, a kid, because I am hyper competitive and I am hyper driven and I am when I was earlier, I'm much more calm now in my much
We
more
all are.
mature age. But back in the day, like everything was like volume was up to 11. Everything was top notch all the time, high stress, high end, everything. But when I had her, first there was about a 2.5 hour losing my shit when we actually when I came back home with my ex-wife, with her. Because it was like, oh shit, this is real now. And
no nurses, no help, no nothing.
Did you run
look
to
around and you're like, we have to take care of this by ourselves.
when I had to go pick them up from the hospital, I had the car seat in my car and I went to our local fire department to make sure that the car seat was strapped in correctly. Like, was there that? Like, I was like, yo, knock, knock. Hey guys, is this appropriate? Like,
luckily I was already in the fire department, so I already knew how to put the car seat in, so I was good.
You knew how.
No, I was terrified. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I am a man's man. Like I don't subscribe to necessarily the new version of what a guy is supposed to be like necessarily. But I am a girl dad. Like I am good at painting toenails. I am good at playing hide and seek and being kind of cutesy, and like I know how to braid hair and I can do all of those things.
A dad.
I'm a dad.
Yeah.
I'm a dad, and I've always felt that like what my role is, and I always tell even my youngest daughter Jolie, I tell her like what's my job? My job is to protect you and to keep you to help build your confidence. Know you're loved. I mean, obviously, but my job is to help you to be safe and confident in this world and give you tools to be the best you can be. The last thing I would ever want is for my daughters to not understand what a man is supposed to be. Yeah, if they're ever with whatever boyfriend or whatever they have, they better treat them right. And now they know how a man is supposed to treat them. And so, I hope like with my youngest daughter, she sees me with my girlfriend. I hope that she sees that I do. I mean, I love my girlfriend and that she's important to me, and how I care about her, and not that love for her takes away from my love for my daughters. But it's really hard, man, because like in all reality, like my family situation has not been the prettiest, the cleanest,
That's all family. We'll get there. Hold on. Don't go there yet.
It's fine. I can go all day on that anyway. It's all good.
But so like when you basically your kids are, when they're around like 13, 14 years old, we're coming into the age of the internet, right? We're coming in.
It's hard.
To the age of cell phones. Now you're, like you said, you're from a generation, you like Gen X. I'm like the cusp of Gen X. Like I'm that Gen X millennial.
Yeah.
I'm right on that line. But I grew up with my grandparents who were boomers. So I kind of grew up the same way that you did. You know what I mean? Like I was feral as fuck. I was running around all over the place. Nobody knew where I was. I just knew I was supposed to be home when the street lights were home. Right.
Right.
So when this starts happening and the internet starts coming, and now you have 2 girls, and now these phones can do things that, pay phones didn't do. You can take pictures on them. Is there any at when you know that these phones can do this, is there any, like, danger warning in your mind yet?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, okay. Right
I
out the gate.
mean, I there was so, let's see, I think Lex got her phone when she was in I wanna say she was in 8th grade. 8th grade, yeah.
But these aren't, like,
No, it was actually earlier than that.
well, let's just
Um,
reiterate, these aren't the iPhones that we have now.
no,
Back then,
no,
these are just, like, regular, like, camera phones, the
right.
chocolate
Flip
IG, like,
phone,
yeah, it's not,
NGs,
they
yeah.
have pictures, but it's not like you're on.
Well, it wasn't as bad as it is
Yeah,
now, but there was like, I remember there was a time when she had a picture of somebody and she was showing someone, and they found it at school and she got busted for it. And I was like, and it was eye opening for me as a parent because it was brand new. All that stuff was kind of brand new. It was eye opening to her too, because no kids nowadays are tech savvy. Like,
yeah,
you could have a
yeah,
four-year-old that can, like,
yep,
maneuver themselves on an iPad better than probably I could,
or me.
and
Yeah.
right,
Mhm,
right,
mhm.
but back then, so, like, they would trip up a lot on themselves. It was easy to find what they were doing and to be able to kinda nip it in the bud, or at least give them the understanding about that, for her. My younger daughter now, um, I am honestly more concerned with her use with it than my older daughter, just because she was kinda new. That scene was newer back then, and so she's a little bit older now and a little bit wiser to the ways of what could happen. With Joe, I mean, she's gonna be 9 here in a couple weeks. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Me and her mom, that's not my girlfriend, but her mom, are not together, and it's a bad relationship. And so the iPad was given to her really early so that mom could communicate with her. So she's been watching shows and all that kind of stuff. I mean, granted, it's like the kids YouTube or whatever that's on there. And I mean, I am aware of what she's doing for the most part, but I'm more nervous about that because I mean, she's 9 years old, and sometimes I'll look at her and I'll be like, "Whoa, you cool your 23-year-oldness down right now."
Mhm.
Like, I don't she's 9 and she's in the mirror, like, and putting on this, like, stance to see what she can look at herself, and I'm like, "Hey, chi
What a
chill out. Like, you're fine. Like, I don't know who you're posing for right now, but, like,
Mhm.
ease up just a touch," and that makes me nervous for her.
Well,
I
even
don't want her to be naive at all, but I also don't want her to lose her youth and that naivety to a point. You know what I mean? Like, I want her to be a smart, safe kid, but, like, I don't want those years to go by like that. I don't want her to be,
she's
a
9.
nine-year-old, 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Even for her, the tech age that she grew up in is way different than the tech age that your older daughter grew up
Oh,
in.
yeah, totally, totally.
So, like, yeah, okay, I can see that because I mean, a lot of kids your older daughter's age didn't know any better, and they were just floating pictures all over the place, and then it ended up on the internet, and then they
Right.
couldn't get it back down,
Mhm.
and it wasn't for any fault of, like, they were trying to do anything. It was just, I want boys to like me, I'm gonna
Right,
send pictures, like,
right.
whatever, and now it's on some weird website somewhere
Ugh,
because,
it's so gross.
right?
Some of that stuff can be so I mean, the problem is that you can't be I don't think you can let yourself be afraid of it. You just have to know that that shit's out there and do the best that you can to try to, I mean, again, educate,
Mhm.
hedge against it as best you can. I think that like Sevon's like, you give kids your phone and it rots their brain right away, and it's the most
Yeah, you're
dangerous thing to do.
horrible. Yeah,
You're a
I
horrible parent and all
know what
that.
he's
And
trying to
and
do, but
it's very easy to say that when you homeschool your kids and everyone's at home. I mean, there's a lot of different variables and scenarios that happen in people's world. So I don't want to say that it's a hard yes or no, but I think it's like, okay, if it's yes, then you're gonna have to be diligent about what you do on the other end, and know you're gonna have to just know that they're kids. Of
Mhm.
course, they're gonna get themselves into trouble. Of course, there's gonna be something bad that shows up, or that someone texts, or they text something wrong, incorrectly, or what. Like, it's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Not not it won't happen, and if it does happen, it's like it's gonna happen. So it's a matter of, like, kind of self-prepping for that. And so then when it does happen, it's like, "Okay, I told you," and I don't like, I would never want anyone talking bad about my kids ever.
Mhm.
But at the same time, uh, like, I will always be straight with my kids
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey," like, I'll back you to the world, but you messed up on that one.
Mhm.
And when you mess up, there are consequences, and sometimes consequences are gonna be bad. And so, like, I'll ride the storm with them. I mean, that's my job. I'm the parent. I'll ride the storm with them.
I don't I don't necessarily think that's happening anymore. Like, I would say that, right? Like, if my kid messes up, he's gonna get consequences. Your kids mess up, they're gonna get consequences.
Yeah.
I would say it's kinda not happening enough anymore.
With the
Like,
consequences part?
yeah,
Hell
like,
no, there's not enough
these kids are
consequences.
not
Give me a
getting
break. Not even
okay, good.
close.
We're on the same page.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
No,
kids
no, 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 no. I am, um, that's one of the things that I deal with my youngest daughter is, her mom is more this, like, new agey version of, like, "Well, you'll tell me when you're ready to do the." I'm like, "No, bullshit. Here are the things. Here are the things." Like, I'm very good at being, like, letting my daughter feel like she gets to, make her choices, but I've already picked the
Made
2
them.
socks.
You've already made them.
"Which one do you want? I'll let you choose either one of these. It's all up to you. You get to be the big kid to decide." "Well, I don't really care because I already decided that both of those were fine." Like,
Right.
that kinda stuff. It's that allowing them to experience the world around them in a protected way that they don't know that it's protected, but I know that they're protected. She's gonna walk along a wall, "This is so great up here, Dad," and I'm right there. Like, if she falls, I got her. I know I'm ready and waiting for her to fall so that I can catch her, just in case. Not that she needs it, but just in case. She's building confidence and learning, and I'm making sure that she's safe as that stuff's happening. Um, Consequences are huge, but I also think that it's a way you have to outline those consequences for them, first of all. You cannot say, if you're a parent and you give idle threats, then you're not parenting anymore.
Mhm.
And no one, and the kid's not going to listen. The kid, as they get older, they are really not going to listen to you.
and they don't believe you.
They don't believe. It's like, you're not going to do anything. What are you going to do? Tell me I'm going to get in trouble? Oh, whatever. That's not going
Yeah.
to happen. So it's like, look, here's the thing right here. Here's the line. If you choose to cross that line, then this is what's going to happen. What I think most parents don't understand is that the second they put it in that vocabulary, that they're not the bad guy now. I already here's the thing. If here's the line and you go over it, this is gonna happen. You chose to go across the line, man. Like, it's not me. I
Mhm.
didn't do it. You did it. So
Mhm.
because you did it, this is now gonna happen. Now it's just a matter of following through on whatever that thing is to make that happen.
Hey,
Um,
did you ever have that, like, when you had daughters and you're raising them, whatever, did you ever have that feeling like, "Hey, I can't?" Because I've had male coaches that have not been as hard on me because we were girls
yeah,
playing,
yeah.
and so they wouldn't treat us like they weren't as hard on us. They, like, "Oh."
They
Yeah, they
coddled you
coddled
a
us a
little
little bit.
bit.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Did you ever
Um,
have that? Because
I feel that
my grandpa didn't coddle me at
Re
all.
I'll say this, my dad, actually, both my parents were great at this. I mean, they were very good at showing love. We laughed a ton, we always had a good time, but we definitely knew the second we were over the line or we didn't follow directions or whatever. I mean, I come from the days where, like, if you got a spanking, it was the belt that was coming out, and I would get the belt, and it wasn't. I never, even to this day, and it's funny saying it now today, only because people are like, "Oh, you were abused as a child." I'm like, no, I was not abused as a child, at all. What I was taught was, when I see abuse for the most part as when it's done excessively in to excess. That's abuse. What I learned was, like, look, if you cross the line, there is a consequence over here that you do not want to have happen. I didn't get the belt a lot of times, but, like, I know when I got it. Like, I remember to this day, I remember. I remember the very last one I got. I remember one that I was able to I made my dad laugh in the middle of him getting ready to give me the belt, so that I was able to get out of it that way.
I was like, did you sweet talk yourself out of one of
No,
them?
I didn't even sweet talk. I think I was just so pathetic looking at the time that, like, he just couldn't get himself to do it. But so because I had that that dichotomy of showing being, like, very loving, but showing where the discipline line was too, that I feel that I'm the same way. And in all reality, I've been lucky enough to not really have ever really laid down the law. I mean, like, go to your room kind of thing, like, whatever. But, like, I didn't spank my girls. I haven't had the need to do that. But both of them have the fear of that. And it's crazy because I remember with my oldest daughter, I asked her this. Uh, I'm like, you've never gotten a spanking from me ever. And she's like, I know, but I don't want that big hand to slap me. Like, I think that would hurt so bad. So just the pure fact of showing love to where she could talk to me, but then her seeing the physicality of me, the big mitt that I have on the end of my arm, the fact that I'm working out, like, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Don't want to have that
I
don't want
should
that to hit
listen.
me. So
I should
I mean, it
listen.
worked for the most part. The only part it got tough is, like, when, I mean, me and her mom were divorced, and me and my youngest daughter's mom aren't together, and so that makes disciplining really, really hard. So now I've gotten, which is kind of probably better now, timing wise, that I'm older and I can have a tougher conversation in a more calm voice with my younger daughter, where we can have a lot of really good conversations. I think so she can at least understand what's going on or what's wrong or what she needs to do or whatever. And I keep seeing the wooden spoon in there. Yeah, we got the wooden spoon too. The problem was the
I
wooden
keep
spoon would
pulling
get
it up,
broken.
but,
The wooden spoon would get broken on us. We would start laughing, and then my mom would get pissed and be like, "Oh, you think that's funny? Well, your dad's going to talk to you afterwards." And we're like, "God
Yep.
dang it. We did not escape."
Well, I love that you explain it that way, because I think the problem is that with a lot of things, it's one extreme or the other. So what a lot of times that I feel like I see with, families around here is this whole idea of coddling and not wanting to hurt their kids' feelings.
God, I hate
But
that.
but at the end of the day, and something that I have really learned from becoming a parent and doing my own work to become a more confident, stronger parent, is that it is my responsibility to raise him safe, to raise him kind, and also I'm raising a future adult. He's
Right.
he's growing into being a man. And so how do I help him learn how to survive and stay safe and the rules of life?
Our job is to give them tools. If we
Yes.
don't give them the tools, then they're never going to learn. So when they hop out of the nest and they get out in the real world, they will get eaten up, or they'll get washed into some narrative group that, like, they feel like that's their protection because it's just a massive group, yelling, chanting this way or that way or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, the only way that a child is going to learn tools is by being in situations where there is some failure that happens. And I'll say failure here is, like, if they mess up on something, like that they failed at doing what they needed to do, so they're disciplined about whatever. Or
Mhm.
if they fail in a competition, like I am so not the
Everybody
participation
gets
award
ribbon?
guy. No, 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 no. Gosh dang it.
I didn't grow up in
And
that
I'm talking
either.
about in everything. I
Well,
mean,
and
even
I'll
even like
say,
in
look what the future of we all got participation ribbons has created, but go
yeah.
ahead.
Like,
I'll be the one to say it.
and I am the first to say it, that my generation did that. Like, we and, like, we wanna complain about, "Oh, millennials and, oh, these kids don't do whatever." Like, we put that wheel in motion by not wanting we thought that our parents, and I'm not this is my parents necessarily, but, like, our generation, my parents didn't care about me enough, so we need to make sure that my kid doesn't feel that same way. So I don't want them to feel bad.
Mhm.
So you know what we should do? Like, everyone's gonna get a soccer trophy. Ah, you know what we're gonna do? We're just not gonna have any sort of scoring system at all when they're playing this sport. There's no score at all. It's like, what? No score?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
someone wins in shooters. Like, what are you talking about? No score in soccer? You're gonna have a win and a loss in that, but you're not gonna have it in it's okay.
Yeah.
But we were the ones that didn't want them to feel bad, and so we removed all of that discomfort. And I mean, shit, we go back to the CrossFit thing. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. If you are not comfortable, if you are if you can't handle being uncomfortable, you will not make it. You won't succeed in your job, you won't succeed in relationships, you won't succeed in any sports, you won't be able to, like, drive forward and create anything, because you're gonna be so worried about, "Oh my gosh, this doesn't feel good."
Mhm.
And that you're just not gonna make it.
Oh, no, there was none of that for me. Like, when I would have basketball games and I would get home, my grandfather would be like, "So, you ready to watch tape now?" And it would be like an hour after we got home from the basketball game, and, like, we would just go through tape, and whether we won, lost, whatever, whether I was
Yeah.
good, bad, it didn't freaking matter. But I wanna pull this comment up because,
Which one, babe?
uh, it shoot, now who touched oh, did it go away? Kenneth the Lap. It was about, dads being in the household.
Mm.
I'm
This one?
pretty sure, yeah, the thing that was, like, the crazy, because it was, you know what I mean? Like, me too, like, I grew up with my grandparents, right? Like, my dad and I have a great relationship now. I met him when I was 30, and now we have a great relationship, but he wasn't in my life.
Mm.
And, I grew up with my grandparents, and it really was. Like, it was like I would be with my grandmother, whatever, but if I did anything, I remember you got the wooden spoon, I had to go outside and chop wood if I got in trouble,
Yeah.
right? So, like, if it was wintertime, I was fucking screwed because I was going outside and chopping wood if I did some shit wrong. Like, if
Yeah.
I talked to my grandmother wrong or I laughed at some shit I wasn't supposed to laugh at, my little cousins getting in trouble or some shit, like, "You're gonna go chop wood now." So,
Yeah.
like, I but people wanna say that that's not healthy, but I think it is. I think that you were like, my daughter, like, saw my physicality, saw the size of my hand, saw me working out. I don't feel like that's a bad thing.
No.
I
No.
feel
I
like
think
that's a
that,
good thing. Your dad's coming home.
so, we talked about, like, giving them tools for the future, teaching them how they should be. And what we're doing is we are building a base for them. Now, that's not to say that they aren't gonna grow older and change the way that they see certain things, or how, whatever their certain views or religious views, political views, whatever, even how they decide that they want to parent their kid or whatever. But it's our job to at least give them a base foundation. And I feel that a lot of the stuff that happens now, they're afraid to lay the bricks down because it's too aggressive or too abrasive, or it's too mean, or it's hurting their feelings, or I don't want to see them cry, or it's making them sad, or you're not listening to their words, or you're not hearing what their wishes are. And it's like, I'm their dad. It's my to build the foundation so that they can build their life on top of that. And that's it doesn't mean that that is taking away any creativity of the child. It doesn't mean that it is stifling the child. It doesn't mean that, um, I work with some baseball kids. One of our members is a ex baseball player, and he has a league, and so I do CrossFit with 11 and under on Tuesdays, and then like 12 and 14-year-olds on Thursdays. And it is amazing how some of these parents, okay, so they don't discipline at all, but they're all up in that kid's shit all the time. They're like making sure that, "Oh, do you have a water bottle? Do you have a water bottle? Let me make sure you get a water bottle. Did you get, oh, you don't have your hat then? I'm going to drive 30 minutes to go get the hat and bring it back here because you forgot it. And I'm sorry, I didn't remind you to get it." And it's like, you're the parent. You're not like, you're not the caddy. You're not the golf caddy. Like, "Is that a 9-iron, sir? Would you like the 9-iron? Would you like the," like, you're the parent. So it's our job to build that. It's like, "Oh, you forgot your hat? Guess you're not wearing your hat today."
Mhm.
I mean, I get that, like, my daughter will forget her water bottle or something at my house, and her mom will be like, "Oh, Jolie wants you to drop off the water bottle." I'm like, no, I'm coaching. I'm busy. Like, she forgot it.
Yeah.
It's not on me to bring that all the time. She's gonna come back here in 2 days anyway. I'll get it then for her.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like, it's, whatever, her favorite stuffed animal or something like that. Come on.
You have some soft spots, like
Totally. Like,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah, of
completely,
course.
rigid, but it's like, again, like, I think that's the parental part. Like, we should be able to see, like, what are the battles here? What are we teaching here? What's the foundation that we're building for them here?
Mhm.
And then going from there, and then hopefully, I mean, having some fun as they're building that and going along on the journey with them.
There's one other, I mean, I'm circling all the way. We keep going like way farther than I want to go, but it's fine.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got the
It's all
biggest
good.
talker on here, so we
No,
could
we're
go
good.
as long and around as whatever you
I
want.
love it. I
So
love it.
I really do too. So can we circle back to when, so you have your first daughter, and that first like 1 to 3 months that of with your first daughter, what is that? Like, I remember when Colleen had our son, and I was literally trying to figure out how to bond with this baby, right? Because this baby is just on her boob all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He needs her all the time. I'm just up to, and then I kind of realized in a certain way that my job was really just to make her life easier so that she could make his life, like, be there for him. And then eventually my time came when he was like mobile.
Yeah.
When he started crawling and shit, then all of a sudden I was important.
Yeah.
Did you feel anything like I struggled a little bit with that?
100%. All of
Okay.
that. On top of all that stuff, me and Lex's mom, we didn't have we should have divorced probably 4 years before that even went down, before we even had her. She would never say that, but that really, like, we were having issues before that. So knowing that we weren't in a real great place, and then here we are with the baby, it was, I mean, I would say 6 months before she was born and 6 months after she was born was probably the loneliest place I've ever been in, because I don't matter. Like, you literally are a caddy at that point. I mean, you're trying to do the right thing by making sure that the mother is taken care of and she has what she needs and she's comfortable, and she wants to go to bed early, and it's like, well, I don't want to go to bed at 8:30, and it's like, okay, maybe we can go on a walk. Like, all of these kind of weird. It's like you end up just kind of
It is
doing that,
weird.
and
Yeah, like,
it's
it
very
is.
weird. It's
Yeah.
very weird. As far as bonding, like, I've always loved kids anyway, so like, I don't have a problem. I didn't mind, like, okay, I'll take her and I'll feed, I'll take the bottle and whatever. I didn't mind doing any of that stuff. But yeah, the second they get mobile,
Then you're
then
on.
my
You're
switch, boom, like, we're off now. We're doing shit. We're moving. I'm
Yep.
throwing her up in the air a lot, very high. I
We
mean,
have a
whatever it is, we're taking walks, we're bouncing around, we're climbing in trees, we're walking along this wall. Again, she doesn't know what's going on. I'm holding onto her hand in case she falls. I got her, swinging on swing set. I mean, all of it. And I definitely, at least I tried to like make up for that time when it felt like that, but it's, no relationship is ever going to be true 50-50 anyway. And I think that's one of those moments where it's not that. And I think that having, one person's job is to build that kid and the other person's job is to play accessory to that person that's building that kid. And then when they come out again, like it's not that we can't bond per se.
It's just weird
But
in those first couple months
Oh, no,
figuring
it's
out
totally
how
weird.
to. Like,
Well,
you're
I
trying to
can only say this because I've been after the fact on it now. During it, when you're in it, it's like it's all
it's
messed up.
hard
You're like,
yeah, you don't know
what
what
the
to
fuck
do.
is happening? Like, what
You're like,
do I do here? I
"What's
don't
my
really know.
job? What am I
Yeah.
supposed to do right now?" Like,
Yeah.
and all I could figure out was like, but I get it if you weren't happy and you're like, for me, when I figured out that all I was supposed to do was make sure that my wife was okay,
Yeah.
it wasn't about me right then, I was
Well, I
okay
still
with it.
did that part anyway, just because I'm a good guy. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, no,
so I knew what that was. I
yeah,
mean,
I get it.
but yeah, it's hard. And so even with the other part, it's being able to be okay with, okay, what does the baby need right now? And I think that this is something that really kind of that should carry through for parents, even as your kid is getting older, is what does my child need right now?
Yeah.
And it doesn't she doesn't necessarily need me right now because I can't feed her. I mean,
Right,
unless
right.
I got a bottle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and I'm okay with that. Like I'll be around, she'll hear my voice and it'll be fine. And then I'll get my time. And I mean, in all reality, they don't remember that part.
No,
We don't
right.
think about that, but they don't remember that part. No kid is going to go, I remember when I was 6 months old and
Yep.
I was on mom's boob and I pushed myself up for the first time. Like they're not going to remember that shit.
But
So,
that's the thing, and then it becomes, "Oh, here, wait, I gotta show you this, just I need your approval because this is what I did to my kid once, like, he got mobile, and it was really funny because he got a drum set, but the top comes off the drum set, and he got himself stuck in he couldn't get out of the drum set, and I had to take a picture. I was there, and I was like, "I love you, I'm gonna get you out of it, but I gotta
Well,
take the
hold on
pic."
one second. You wanna know what's funny is I have video of my youngest daughter. Um, so we're at her mom's house, and, uh, this is another fucked up relationship on that one too, where the only time I could really see her was at her house, so I had to go there, and it was really high tension because she lived with her parents too, and, anyway. So I'm there with Joe, and Joe's kinda moving herself around, and she had one of those, sit in circle things with the wheels. They can kind of scoot themselves around and have like all the things around so
Yeah,
they can
yeah, yeah.
pop the little
Mhm.
deals. So I'm videoing her and this is her first face slap because she crawls herself up on the thing and she's looking at me and she's like, all right. And there's all of a sudden like her feet kind of slide out and she goes whap and just slaps her face right on the thing. And I have the video of that. And my first reaction was, oh my God, that was us. Oh, you're okay. Hey, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
I'm
So funny.
I just wanna make sure as parents, it's okay that we laugh at this shit because it is
You know what? They're
hysterical.
resilient. They're little rubber things.
They'll
They're
be
fine.
fine.
They're fine.
I'm trying to find that one video where you throw him onto the couch. I'm sure,
Oh,
Bill,
I launched him.
The
Bill, I'm sure you
best.
probably have one.
I
I can't find it, but I'll try to find it.
I destroyed him, like, so many times, but I launched him and he ended up because if you have a sectional couch and there's that one literal, like, solid part in the
It's
sectional
like
couch.
the L part on
Oh,
the
yeah,
couch.
yeah.
And I launched him and he fell on that.
And I got it in slow
And I
motion,
was
so
like,
you saw like the
"Oh,"
boom
like,
back kind of thing. Oh man, I can't find it.
damn.
Oh, here it is. Here.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Oh,
super slow
Jesus.
motion.
Slow-mo.
Like, it's literally after a shower, my dog's
Yep.
chilling.
Super slow mo. Hold on, guys. It's gonna get there.
Yeah, and then
You see his curls.
He is having the best time of his life.
Launch. Right there. No hands.
Oh,
Boom.
face like, into it. I was like, oh.
Oh
And
my
that was
gosh.
such a hard time for me because when he got mobile, then he didn't need me, and he very much was all about her.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love hearing stories where it's like, you're not crazy. It's just the
That's how
season
it
of
goes.
how it
Totally.
goes. And you know, I've had to grow up a lot, because very much like you're saying, and I think we were talking about with Tyler, who we
Yeah.
had. So this whole idea that like your parents give you a foundation, and this whole narrative with so many people as well. My parents did it this way, and then my grandparents did it this way, so I have to do it this way because that's just the way that my family does it, and this is who I am, and there's no changing it. It's just the foundation that I have. I didn't have the best foundation growing up. You know, my parents were separated. My father is a Vietnam vet, struggled with alcoholism, and then I
Dude,
lived with
wait, can I just
yeah,
wait?
go
Let
ahead.
me just say about her dad. Her dad is a Marine Vietnam vet, a tunnel rat. And if you read his DD 214, it'll make you freaking cry.
Wow.
Like, I mean, shot Agent Orange, like
Two Purple Hearts.
yeah. So when
Wow.
we say that he has like he had a drinking problem when he got home, like he had a drinking. He's great now. He's the best grandfather ever.
He's awesome.
But like this man, I like
went through the
Put through
shit.
the ringer.
He
Yeah.
went through the shit.
like tunnel rat.
But like, so my parents didn't have a relationship, you know, and it wasn't a very good household, and I didn't have the foundation that I have now with my wife that I have created, and the work that I had to do to build the foundation to be a confident mother to my son, to be able to very much do the opposite of what we talked about, like being okay with the fact that I'm gonna hurt your feelings, being
Yeah.
okay with the fact that there's boundaries and there's rules, because I didn't have that. You
Yeah.
know, I very much was a daddy's girl. I'm the youngest, I'm the only girl. But then it was like, who's gonna love me more? My dad's gonna do everything and he's gonna love so that I love him more. It was almost like a against each other kind of
Oh
thing.
man, I get it.
And you don't
I
realize
get
it
it.
until you're an adult. And so for me, it was more important for me to get my shit together so that I can be that kid, because how I look at it now is that I'm not being a bad parent. I'm being a really good fucking parent because I'm protecting him and doing the best that I can to make sure that he has those tools that you were talking about.
Well,
And when, good.
I was gonna say like that is man, I mean that's awesome that you learned that, because you're right. Like you were able to see where you came from, and just because you came from whatever you came from,
Hmm.
the way you use that is okay, what worked in that, what didn't work in that, what do I want to bring forward, what do I not want to bring forward, what do I want to change. It doesn't have to be a generational style of doing something, but there can be some I mean, just because a lot of it was shitty doesn't mean that all of it was shitty. There can be parts of that. And I'm sorry, there is, if someone thinks that a parent is all hugs and rainbows and everything's great and there's not pain, they are not being a parent. Like, I'm not in this, I'm not a parent. The last thing I want to be is a best friend to my kids. Now, granted, when they get older, it's a little different, but like, like in the beginning, they don't need a best friend. They need to know that I am there for them. I mean, we'll be buddies and all that kind of stuff, but they need to know that like my primary role is not to make sure that they're happy all the time. It's to make sure that they're safe, to make sure that they're loved, to make sure that they are getting what they need so that they can survive. If
Yeah.
I don't do that, then I am one, doing them a disservice, and I am just completely lying to myself that I think that I'm doing the right thing.
Hmm.
That's like it's almost like virtue signaling yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, my child's always happy, so I'm doing a great job. Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Okay, the two of you
Sorry.
did the same thing at the same time. It was two of you.
But as both of our heads went,
That was funny.
that was really funny.
Hey, I got a question. How did it, like you had just she just started to talk about it before, but I saw you nodding your head a little bit. Like that push pull. of the parents not being together, that like, hey, this one's the fun one, this one's the how did you navigate that? Was that were you like, hey, I'm not gonna be the fun one, I'm gonna be the fun and the boundary one? Like
So with both of my daughters, both different moms, both different scenarios, one married to, one was like a long relationship with, both of them were unhappy with the fact that I ended the relationship. And because of that, there's a lot of pain, which I understand. And so both of them were, I think at one point, like with my oldest daughter, her mom tried to be pretty civil for the most part and tried to be cool, like if if there were like the next girlfriend or whatever, but really wasn't. And so there's a lot of like passive aggressive type things that are said. There's a lot of comments that are said. There's things and it's very easy. Like moms have a lot of power, and if they want to manipulate their kid, it's very easy for them to do that because they have that instant connection. I mean, there's one thing with being a dad is that, like, especially if you're not the dad that has the child like 50-50 or majority custody or whatever, it's like you're the visiting person. And so you get discounted a lot. And not that it is outright said necessarily, but it's definitely assumed and alluded to and said in different ways, like very passive aggressively. So the instinct on my end would be, you would think, to be the Disneyland dad, that I'm going to buy you all the things and I'm the fun one and whatever. And what I had to do for myself was, again, lean into what I really liked, what my dad did with me, which was, when we have fun, we have fun. Like we play hard. We go to the beach, we play hard. I've had both my daughters on my back, on my surfboard when I'm either paddling or, catching waves or whatever. And they're little. And I've had plenty of, moms mostly on the beach getting pissed because, how dare you put your child in jeopardy when you're doing, like, give me a break. I'm a lifeguard,
like,
man.
I'm
I've been
good.
doing it forever. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
we
good.
got this. But like, we play hard. But at the same time, I always told myself that I would make sure that I would not go easy on the parenting part, the parental part, the disciplining part, if need be. They have to know that part, that it's important, because if nothing else, like, I am going to be the vacation visit. If I'm not that, I have to establish that I'm a parent, and I'm a parent not because I'm just trying to be a hard ass on you, or just to be put my fist down just because I'm the dad because I said so. Because if I want to make sure that I'm doing my part. I can't guarantee what the moms are doing. I'm watching what I'm seeing, and I personally feel that they were getting different tools and information that I don't see helping my daughters as they get older. So if no other reason, that's right, the Mother's Day chat, and here I am back, talking about the dad mom.
It's all good.
No.
All good.
But it's my job to at least ensure I can be happy sleeping at night knowing that I did my best job for my child, because all I can do is do what I can do.
Yes.
I can't say or affect what the other parent's going to do. It's on them. So the push pull is not for me, just keep my head square, and it is to not let myself get overly fired up on things that I don't have control of. They're going to do what they're going to do, but I need to do what I think is right at the same time. I mean, if we ever get to a point where there is some sort of co-parenting congeniality, sort of niceness that can work, cool. But if not, I at least have to do what I think is right on my end. And then at least my daughter's getting that from me, and she's getting whatever her mom thinks of her, which is kind of what it would be anyway. We're just not under the same roof. So that's the push pull.
Yeah,
It's hard, man. It is
yeah.
hard.
Well,
And I
because
have not made it easy on myself with my path. But with that being said, I mean, like there's obviously a lot of hardships with that kind of stuff, but with all of that being said, like when you boil it all down, like what do I have? I have 2 daughters that are, beautiful and they're doing good. Even kind of even back around, like my ex-wife has twisted my oldest daughter's head to like I haven't talked to my oldest daughter since she graduated from high school, even though I text her like once a week or every 2 weeks. And she graduated college last year, and I still haven't talked to her, so I'm still waiting for my time. But I know that the time will come because whatever
you
anyone is gonna say, like, she's gonna have to make up her own mind eventually, you know what I mean? Like, her
you
mom's not gonna
you
be there forever to do that.
you want it. I mean, I can always say, like, my again, I grew up with my mom and my mom's family. No one ever spoke ill of my dad. My dad just wasn't here, and he wasn't
Yeah.
close enough for me to be around. I was always just like, "Well, he never reached out, he never tried." But by the time I was in my mid-20s, I wanted to know him. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk to him. It and you obviously were around for your girls
I
whenever.
tried. Well, I'll
Yeah,
tell you what, when you said that you didn't have a relationship and then now you do, and it's a good one, like,
it's
dang,
awesome.
that felt really good to hear that because I don't hear that. There's a lot of self-talk I have to do with be like, it'll be okay, she'll come around. So I just keep doing what I think is right.
Yeah.
Text her like every 2 weeks, "How you doing? How's this?" And it's on my phone, it's all blue on the one side, all my
Yeah,
messages
and
and
that's
nothing else
and
on the other side.
honestly, for a little bit even, like, when I first met my dad, afterwards, I was a little like, "Okay," and he would text me, and I wouldn't answer because I didn't know what to do yet,
Yeah.
and then it was just like, what did we bond over? I think we bonded over s
Sports.
yeah,
Sports.
it was literally sports and Star Wars. It was
Star
like
Wars is cool.
yeah, like, we were like and it just literally was, and it just kind of and then now we just have this great, like whenever like, right now, we're bonding over like, we're, like, nuts over the Knicks
Yeah.
because the Knicks are actually winning games, so we're like, "Oh, shit, yes," you know
That's
what I
really
mean?
cool.
But it did come later, but yeah, it yeah, it girls take a minute, it's we
No,
just
you girls are like it's crazy. It's the craziest thing. Like, first of all, like there's always been like I've always said that like girl, like you guys smell so good and you're so pretty and you're cute and you like to do things and you're fun and all that kind of stuff. And then like
What?
when they're young,
Oh,
they're these
I was
cute
gonna
little
say,
things and
yeah,
they're
when we're
fun and
young.
they do all this, all these like cute things and you're painting your toenails and fingernails with them and like, girls are so different than guys.
For sure.
Like like, it's really and I'm talking about younger girls and older girls, like, you women are a unique breed, man, I swear,
The
but
hormone shifts on us are nuts. It's not even
Crazy.
the
Crazy.
teenage hormone shift, the 20, the 30, the 40, like, it's
it
nuts, it's
it's
crazy.
crazy, but I mean, to this day, I mean,
I will call you
like,
again.
I love my girlfriend, I like to death, and it was really good. She came around at a good time for me because, like, I basically was like, "Okay, there's strike 1. Alright, there's strike 2. I don't know what's coming up next after this one." So I'm pretty much like, "You know what? I don't need anybody. I'm fine. I'm good."
Oh, that is
Um,
the story of all stories because that's how I met Garrett. Same
dude,
thing.
right?
She had
When you're
sworn
not
off
looking.
women.
Yeah, I was like,
I had gotten out of a really bad
I
relationship. I
told
was like, "I'm good. I don't need anybody."
I don't need
And
to put up with
yeah,
people's shit. I'm tired of dealing with
no.
their shit.
I met my sister, like, meeting my dad at the same time I met my half sister, like,
Wow.
at the same time. I was 30, she was, like, 29 or whatever, and I was like I was literally coming off a really bad breakup, and I was like, "If I ever say I wanna get married again, just fucking punch me in the face." And then, like, 3 months later, I was like, "Hey, don't punch me in the face, but"
But I tell you what, like I mean, she's really good for me. And again, like it's I I don't fault any of the relationship that I have. I mean, we live, we learn, we figure out things we need to figure out. We get lessons that we're supposed to have for whatever reason. Like I mean, on paper, my family type stuff is like my personal family type stuff is not a nice, pretty drawn up one. But like, there's so many, like my oldest daughter, whether she wants to talk to me or not, like, it was crazy. So she graduated from Oregon State, and I was able to watch, they broadcast the commencement, and I'm like, I got to watch it. I didn't go because I didn't know, I didn't want it to be, it's her day. I didn't want it to be some weird thing. It's not about me at that time. So I didn't go, but me and my youngest daughter were watching the commencement, and there were like 3 times where the camera was actually on her as she's sitting down and stuff. And man, dude, I had pit in my stomach and I'm getting all choked up, and it's like, man, I haven't seen her. It's just like that stuff is crazy. As a parent, like, you just don't forget that kind of stuff. So like, that door will always be open for her to walk through. And
Of course.
it would be wrong for me to be like, okay, you don't want to talk to me? Fine. Fuck you then. I'll show you. Like, I'm the parent. So I will always throw it out there, a little text. Hey, how you doing? Not because I'm trying to fish her in, but because I want her to know that, like, I'm not done talking to you yet. And then
She
with my
feel
youngest daughter, I want her to see that too, like,
She knows.
she feels that. And
You always want your dad. You do always want your dad.
you always want your parents, and I
Yeah,
don't
sorry. You always want your parents.
I don't have a good
I get it. It's
relationship
okay. You're
with
good.
my mom, and I don't really talk to my mom anymore.
Yeah.
And to hear that you still try from a daughter's perspective, she feels it. She
Yeah, I
can
hope so.
sense that,
Yeah.
because I don't have, my mother's still living,
Yeah.
but we don't talk.
That's crazy.
See, that sucks. I hate that stuff.
Like,
I
she
hate
doesn't
it.
As
she
parents,
doesn't
like, it's
know
horrible.
she doesn't
Yeah.
know our son.
Yeah.
Man.
My son doesn't know her. He knows my father very well, and he knows my father's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then he knows Garrett's sister's mother as his nanny, and her husband as grandpa, as papa. Um, and then his aunts, and from her side and whatever, but he doesn't really know my mother.
Yeah.
And it sucks as a parent, because I could never imagine doing that to my son. And like you
Yeah.
said, it doesn't, whatever it is, and whatever was said, and whatever the times are, whatever the seasons are, like, I could
She'll come back
never
around.
imagine not
20s are the
still
worst.
reaching out and trying to have that conversation and try to reconnect.
The thing that I used to really, I guess, put my heart at ease with it is that what I don't want her to ever be able to say is, well, you didn't even try. Like, really? I have years of texting you, and not even like, I want her, I don't want her to ever be able to say that. But then the true, like, heart of it is, as a parent, what do I think is the right thing?
Mhm.
And the right thing is not to snuff it out and just go, you don't want to talk? Okay, fine. I just don't think that it's, for me, it's not the right thing. And I need to be able, it's the only thing that really keeps it going for me. Like, I have to know that there's a chance. And if I don't do it because she's angry right now, or whatever the situation is, if I don't do it, then nobody's going to do it. And then I have no one to blame but me. And
Mhm.
so I feel it's the right thing. And this, we go back to that the thing that we've been talking about a lot, is you have to believe in what it is, whatever it is that you're doing. And you got to hold true to what your belief is. And that's my belief, is it's the right thing to do. And so I'm going to keep texting her. It probably pisses her off, honestly.
It doesn't.
She probably
It does, but it
gets it,
doesn't.
like, God,
It does, but it doesn't though, dude. Like every time,
I mean, it might right now.
yeah,
But
but even
That's fine.
though,
That's
but
okay. I'll take
but
that too.
it doesn't though, because it's like, oh, dad, I don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna punish you right now. Like, have you ever been in a relationship where you're like, I love you so much, but I just need you to feel how I feel, so I'm just gonna punish you for a second, like right now. Like that's it's
I
just
haven't done that. At least I hope I haven't done that to anybody.
well, you're not a girl, you're a boy. You don't do that. Dudes don't do that.
I
Dudes
mean,
are
he
like,
did say we're a unique breed.
yeah,
We fight a little different.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
We
I
do fight a
agree.
little different. Definitely,
I'm
for sure.
again, I apologize to Chase for the color parade. I'll apologize to you for our ovary.
No, don't. Hey, man, but
Oh,
I told
yeah,
you,
dude.
I am a very heterosexual. Like I like the women. I like girls. So it's all good. Like
We're trying. We're out here
I
trying.
get it. It would be too boring if we were all the same anyway. So
Yeah, for real.
you know,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
fine.
For sure.
It's
How
fine.
do you this was one of the big questions that I wanted to ask you is how do you navigate your youngest in the society that we have right now? So a lot of things are changing. A lot of people have their own personal views, and
Yeah.
something that we have decided for next year is that we are going to homeschool our kid next year to
Yeah.
see if the world kind of
And also, we're very lucky to be able to.
relax.
Yeah, if you have the ability to do that,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
because
cool.
my schedule is very flexible. As a personal trainer, I can really set my schedule around his, even though
Yeah.
she's locked in the deli all day.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have that. So we're hoping the world will calm down a little bit. But
Yeah.
how do you navigate your youngest in today's society? See,
No. You didn't stump me. You didn't stump me. I'm thinking of how I want to word it.
But I got the look. Okay, so maybe it's not the stump look.
He's not
but
losing this
it's
challenge to
but
you.
it's
He's
the
not
look.
gonna do it.
It's the look to the side that we're gonna have to do that.
Nope.
I'm gonna have to go through each one.
Everyone and have all of us with the
have
side.
the looks.
Okay, I'll say this. I decided that like I've already had discussions with my youngest where I will say, it's like, "Oh, Dad, I want to paint your toenails, or I want to paint your fingernails," and I go, "Look, okay, Dad's a man. Dad doesn't paint his fingernails." I go, "Look, if you just want to do it because we're playing, whatever," I go, "Okay, you can paint them black, but you're not like it's not
Pink.
going. We're not doing. No, Dad
Pink,
doesn't
no
do
orange.
pink." She knows that Dad wears a lot of black all the time anyway, like black shirts and shorts and shoes and whatever. But I think that I am very honest in what my views are on certain things, like Dad's a man, and a man, men do this and women do this. Now we've had times where we have one of the coaches in the gym, she's gay, and she was wearing like board shorts and something like that, and she was like, my daughter was like, okay, so why she's wearing boys' clothes? And I go, yeah. Well, why is she wearing boys' clothes? Because she wants to wear those clothes.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. It's not like that doesn't. I want to make things that aren't a big deal, not a big deal.
Yes.
But I want to make things that, like, if someone is going to pretend that there's something else, it's like, they're pretending.
Mhm.
Like, this person is this way. This person is pretending that they're that way.
Mhm.
This is like if there's certain narratives in the news that come up, and a lot of her mom's side are very CNN, MSNBC, that kind of stuff that's out there. When are you going to hear like a 7-year-old be like, "Oh, President Trump, he's a jerk"? Like, what do you know about President Trump anyway? Like, give me a break. You don't even know what it is that you're talking about. So, I'll always be sure to say, like, hey, like, there are other opinions that are out there. Just because you hear one doesn't mean that that's the end all be all. Just because the news says that, everyone should be quadruple vaxxed because people are dying from COVID doesn't necessarily mean that that is actually what's happening, because that's this like media stuff that's out there. So like I try to give at least a little side of that, so I don't just fall into the normal narrative, but I also don't want to hide from it. I don't try to like sugarcoat it, but I don't go the other way. And this is something that I have found, and this is I'm definitely an older person, parent, coach, whatever nowadays. Like, and because I tell my girlfriend, my girlfriend's actually in the comments. So like Laura is my girlfriend. She's in the comments there.
Oh, hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
She's there'll be a lot of things that will happen like with her
Laura,
kids.
what comment do you want Bill to read?
I think it's this one. So not to lose it. I think it's this one.
Oh, okay. I guess I realized I was hurting him and I didn't want more pain in the relationship. That was never my intention.
This was the one before it.
I stopped wanting. Okay.
Oh, Laura asked why she started to answer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she wanted me to make sure that you got that.
I read it. Thanks.
Okay.
But like, so
listen, we gotta keep the lady happy. We're not fucking around.
Hey, I get it, man.
Like,
I get it. I'm all for that too.
So would you say that you are explaining it age appropriately for the context of what comes up? Like you said, you don't make it like a big deal and you don't blow it up. She asks a question.
I don't get emotional about it. I won't let myself go, what? You did? What did you? How could you? I won't let myself, because the second, I think when anybody hears that, there's an automatic defensiveness to that, whether they're a little kid or whether they're an older person.
Yeah.
So it would always be like, whoa, this is like, I do this. Dad's a man. Men do this. Dad, I'm not wearing a dress. Why though? Because I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Why does she want to wear board shorts? Because she wants to.
Right.
That's fine. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it always, like, it really, to me, will always come down. I mean, especially for that kind of stuff, because that is some of the main stuff, like, and if you're talking about homeschooling and the things that like they start putting in school, like whether it's critical race theory stuff, or if they're talking, transgender side, gender ideology stuff. My whole thing is, look, if someone is cool to you, you are cool back to them. The
100%.
second you don't need to be cool to them is when they are not being cool to you.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
Like, but that doesn't mean that, like, if someone thinks that they are now a kitty cat, that you need to act like they're a kitty cat.
Yes.
Like, that's their game they want to play. Cool. Kitty cat, go do whatever you want. But like, I don't think you're a kitty cat. Like, sorry.
Right.
I'm not gonna play into that stuff.
Well,
and I don't want my daughter to have to do that way either. I don't want her to have to feel that way either.
Yeah, right.
My brother,
exactly.
my middle brother was working at a company, and they had a meeting because there was a guy in there that identified as a cat with ears and a tail, and they put
weird.
They put a litter box in the bathroom and said that if you say anything, even in the form of a question, literally just a genuine, respectful question to try to understand, because that also is the big narrative of like, you need to understand and you need to understand. But how am I allowed to understand if I can't ask you a question?
Exactly.
Without you being, like you said, emotional or triggered or anything like that, when I'm just asking you a question. That if they said anything to this particular guy in this job about how he identifies, it's considered hate speech. They can get arrested. And so my brother was like, you know what? Like you said, when you get to a point where you feel like it's uncool, doesn't feel good, he ended up actually leaving the company. He's like, I can't walk around with this because.
Yeah, I think that I feel that a lot of that has been knee-jerk reaction type stuff from companies, from universities, from everyone trying. I think it's a surface. We think we're trying to do the right thing, but it is so paper thin of what you're actually doing.
Sloppy.
Like you don't. I know. I don't think that it is thought really about like what they're really trying to do.
Did you see the Tom Brady roast?
Yeah.
Dude, that makes me hopeful for the future again.
It was
Everybody fucking got it.
dude,
Everybody got it.
everybody.
Lesbians got it.
Yeah.
Transgenders got it. Fucking Jews got it.
Everybody. It
Black
was
people got it. White people got it.
Yeah.
Everybody got it. Everybody got it. You had
Which
to
is
take it.
like, I mean, what's great, I always watch those things to watch, like, okay, is that a real laugh and a smile that they're doing, or are they just really faking it because they know the camera's on? They're like, ha ha ha, fucker, ha ha.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I will literally be as honest as I can as a half black lesbian female. I was uncomfortable for 10 minutes, and then I was like, "Fuck it, here we go." We're like,
Right? I mean,
let's go.
the cool thing is that if you really just like let go of all of the dumb shit stuff, that's like, oh my god, okay, it's actually kind of funny.
It was so funny.
And I'm talking about even like the other stuff, like the cat thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to be a cat, like if the company wants to give you a fucking litter box, okay, that's on you guys. But don't expect me to bring like cat treats
I'm not
or
gonna be
be okay.
serious.
I'm gonna call you Bob because your name is Bob. If
Right.
your name is Bob, whatever his name is, I'm
Right.
gonna call you Bob. I'm not gonna call you Meow. I'm not.
Yeah.
I won't play. If you want to play that, fine, but it doesn't mean I need to play that game.
Yeah.
If you want, if Joe now wants, and I know that's a bad name. If Richard now wants to call herself, himself, itself, whatever self, Rashina, cool, man. Like whatever, but don't expect me to have to buy into that crap. Like do what you want to do, but don't expect me to have. I shouldn't have to play in your game. That's your own game.
Yeah.
And also, we were just talking about this. If you thought about it 2-3 years ago, no one gave a fuck.
Right.
No one cared.
No.
Do your thing. Do whatever you were doing. It's fine. It wasn't until you tried to push it on the entire country that we were like, no.
You know what's
no.
You know what's so
Wait,
funny?
Hold on. Save that thought. Ken at the lap, always with the good ones.
Bringing a lady.
Oh my, that was a good one, dude. That was good. Oh my gosh, so good.
Fire.
Oh man,
Ken at the lap is that guy.
Yeah,
he's always good. He's in everybody's. I don't know what he does, but you watch everybody's show, Kenneth. I swear,
He's
everybody's
awesome.
show.
He's fucking fire.
So funny. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to-
What was it? Oh yeah, so the whole like that whole pronoun thing, like it always tripped me out about that because the only time you ever use a pronoun is when like calling, if me and you are talking about someone else, then that pronoun would come up, but that person is not there at that time, so who cares?
Right.
So who cares if you're a he, him, they, them? Like, you need to tell me that? Well, I would never call you, hey, she, hey, they, what's up, he? Like, it's so dumb. It doesn't even make any sense.
But again, when did that become part of the introduction? Like,
right?
If we met in person and we were shaking hands, you wouldn't say, "Hi, I'm Bill Grundler. Please, my pronouns are he,
him,
he, him, or whatever." Like nobody cares.
Hey, so next time when you leave me in this hello that we're doing right now, but when you go and talk to someone, you have to use this word that I'm not there privy to hear.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that you understand that when you talk to someone else about me, that I use. So dumb.
Because if I don't, then you're going to be upset, even though you have no idea what this.
You didn't hear. You wouldn't have heard if I used it or not. But it's cool. I have a couple of people that work like at the Cal Poly, the university here in town, and they all like they have that on their they have to use that and on their emails. It has to be they have their name, whatever their position is, and they have to have that because the university like requires that. And it is so like I am so glad I don't need to deal with any of that shit. I'm not in the fire department anymore. I'm retired from that. Like all I do is deal with my little gym world, the people that I coach, my kids, my girlfriend, and I'm good. Like I don't have to deal with any of the other bullshit, and it's cool.
Dude, nobody cared until they made it a thing. Like nobody was out to get transgenders. Nobody was out to get the gay community. Nobody was out to get extra. We
That's so
visited an
fun.
affiliate in
I hope
Seattle,
they
and
turned around and walked out.
oh god. Whatever, dude.
Oh, God.
Nah, man. Yeah.
My thing though
It was so
is
dumb on so many levels.
why do you think I have to care that much? And I don't want to be an asshole like that, but
No,
like
that's not being an asshole. That's being normal. Like,
But,
like, I
why do
don't
you
but I
who's
should care? Like,
like
that's entitlement.
I am in the line at Dunkin' getting a coffee. I will never see the man or the woman behind me, and yet you need to make sure that I know exactly who you are from head to toe.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, like if I would say I was behind the counter making the coffee, I guess I should say, and I interact with you and I say, "Hello, ma'am, how are you?" and I ruin your day because that's
Your
not
whole
how.
life.
Like I will never see you again.
You know what? Like this is going to be very harsh. I'm probably a little bit more savonic when I say it, but like if that really bothers you that much, then like the world will take care of itself and you're not
Yeah,
going to be on the
yes.
planet that much longer. Like really if you're that weak that someone, I mean, that is that wasn't a derogatory term. Whether I identify as a whatever and it was the wrong thing because apparently you look like whatever. Okay, cool. If that really bothers you that much, you are going to have a very rough time
Dude,
on
I'd
this
have to
planet.
hide in my room for the entire rest of my life
Oh,
if
it's
it bothered
terrible.
me like that. Like, it's not whatever, bro. Okay, here you go, sir. Yes, sir. Like, it's whatever. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, I do that all the time, and
Doesn't matter.
I'll
I'm not
I'll
mad
chalk it
at
up to
anybody.
old school. I'm like, "All right, guys." Like, I
Yeah.
say that in the
Yeah,
gym all the time.
you can't
I'll
say
have a
that.
class, I'll have all girls, all
Yeah,
women in a certain
yeah.
class,
Let's go,
All right,
guys.
for whatever
guys.
reason.
Yeah.
"Okay, guys, here we go."
Fire.
Not
Yeah,
not
for
at no
sure.
time does any of them, because I think that there's, like a level of I think I heard this on Joe Rogan where he was talking about it. It's like there is no word that is derogatory unless the intention is derogatory. Like if I was going to say take a huge shit or shit, that might be a derogatory. But like I mean, like you should like the word itself is not a derogatory
Sorry.
tool.
Wow.
It's how you use it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and if I go, hey guys, what's going on today? That's way I mean, I could
Yeah.
say all the right things and say it very wickedly, and that's not right. Like that I think
Mhm.
that would be more incorrect than
Yeah.
me, saying a generalization like that, and "I'm sorry, ma'am." It's like, "I am not a ma'am." Oh my gosh.
All right, let's end this on something other than this dumbass meow meow shit. The last question, like before, because I've had you on for so long, and I can't thank you enough for
This was
like
so
Super
much
the
fun.
fun.
amount of
Super
time
fun.
that you.
So much fun.
But just the last question, because I got into it with John Young a little bit on the podcast that he came on for
'Kay.
me, and so this is a follow up question because I'm gonna get ready to ask him to debate me again because I'm gonna try again and try not to get destroyed immediately.
Okay.
But do you think the CrossFit space, do you think that it's gotten out of that kind of, I like to call it the Froning Michael Jordan era where you had to kind of sacrifice everything to be the best, to you had to eat, sleep, breathe it, you sacrifice things, blah, 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 to get to that high level of winning multiple championships. Do you think we've gotten out of that era and now we're just gonna see like a new champion every year? Like people are gonna, it's gonna kind of like not that Matt Frazier era or the Tia era or
I think that, guys like Rich and Tia and Matt, in every sport, you're going to have those special people that were, I mean, just literally touched. I mean, the big old finger came down and bing, you're going to have all the skills and the right place, the right time, and all that kind of stuff. Uh, that being said, I do think that if you want to be the best, that to be the best, it takes 100% commitment. I don't think that you can be the best, especially a multi best.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you. Like literally the Froning Frazier like where you win everything, the Michael Jordan, the you win everything all the time. There's
Do I
no
think that that's over, that that'll never happen again?
yeah.
No, I
Like,
think it'll happen again.
you think someone else will sacrifice that much to be that good?
Yeah. When Rich was doing Rich's stuff, we never thought we were gonna see someone like that again, ever. And in basketball, you can say the same thing about basketball. No one thought that they would ever see, someone like this guy again, and then this guy, and then this guy. And then there were all of these people that, like, to where now they're having battles like, well, who's the greatest ever? Because there have been so many where it's like there'll never be another athlete like this. There'll always, I think that that person will always be there. And um, for all the reasons that I think that they will be willing to give up everything to be that person, on top of having the skills and abilities and the gift of that. There are a lot of athletes that give it all and don't have all the championships and don't have all the wins. They don't have the
The
they
God-given
don't
gifts.
have they don't have
Yeah,
the God-given touch, you know?
and
They don't
the
have
work
it.
ethic. Yeah,
Um,
I know a lot of people that have the tools, the God-given gifts, but
and
don't
they don't
have
have yeah,
the work
exactly.
ethic.
I've seen that a lot of times. I've
Yeah,
seen that
yeah.
a lot of times. But so do I think that we will see another person like that? I do think that we'll see that. What did John say? No?
No,
No, they
I need
literally
this.
debated
Like,
the
listen,
GOAT
I'm asking you
conversation
this so that I have ammunition for the next round, but, like,
of
Okay.
the
we were
GOAT
having the
conversation.
GOAT conversation about Matt and Rich,
Yeah.
and I was firm on Rich, and he changed my mind in, like, 3 seconds, and I was like, "Oh god, these guys that do this for a living, like, have the ability to talk you out of your own thoughts," and I was like, "This is not gonna happen again. I'm
Well, hold
going."
on. Here's a follow-up because Saxon Panchik said a good point on Hiller's Mayhem
I saw
video
that actually, yeah.
that elite athletes aren't in the affiliates anymore, and it's a problem for the sport. Bill Grundler.
Oh,
Bill Grundler,
go
do you
ahead.
agree or disagree?
Uh, I I don't I don't think that it's bad for the sport. I think that as an elite level athlete, you have to be able to do elite level things, and that isn't necessarily always affiliate and community based. What Saxon was talking about was that he saw the old school guys, his brother, Jason Khalipa, Rich,
Feeler.
Spieler, all those guys that we were doing that, and those guys were able to do that because that's how they were able to train for so long, because they had their gym, they had their affiliate, so they would coach their classes and then they would coach, and they were already there all day anyway, so that it worked into the timing and the time frame to be able to do that. I don't think that an elite level athlete needs to be in the affiliate for the sport, because I still am of uh, 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 the camp that there is a split between CrossFit the sport and CrossFit the methodology, and the fitness program. I will say that. We do a lot of the same things together. We have the open together. I think that the affiliate is a tool, especially in the qualifying rounds. It should be utilized correctly. Um, but I don't think that once you get to sport, I don't care where you train. In fact, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I become a purist whenever we start talking about these things. Is when you're an athlete, you care about one person, you
You.
only,
Mhm.
or I mean, if it's a team sport, it's the team.
Right.
But like, it's not about the affiliate at that point. It's not about were the workouts appropriate for the affiliate to put together, and was it easy for the affiliate owner to be able to put. I don't care. I'm the affiliate owner, and I don't care, because that's not what that's for anymore. The open, okay, fine, because you want everyone to play. But the second you span from the open, which is now, and me and Chase talk about all the time, that's our fitness fun run. That's the turkey trot. Okay, so everybody gets to play.
Mhm.
Cool. Now we advance forward. Now it's not turkey trot time. Now you're competing. Now you're at a qualifier for a triathlon, for the Ironman, or for Boston, or whatever. And you can be in there, but the event now should not cater to everybody in the community that's coming up. I don't think that should be the case anymore. Or that should be the deal. It should be that now we're looking to find the fittest. That doesn't mean that you go and program stupid stuff where you think that you're going to need to have, 18 GHDs happening at one time or something like that, or you make it something idiotic. But it's about the sport. It's about the competition. It's about the athlete at that time, not about the affiliate. So do I think they need to be in there? No. Is it nice that they are? Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
But, these athletes are individuals, and it's not the old affiliates anymore where they're coming from the affiliates and they're the affiliate owner and they've been an owner for 10 years. And, they also are a teacher in the off time. And then they also are competing out here. I mean, it's not a lot of Val Volberals out there anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So
Dude, she's
still flipping around though.
that was like
she won the quarters for her age group.
Oh shit.
She's like the original Ariel Lowen.
Right?
Like, yeah, she's like the OG Ariel Lowen. Like everything we love about Ariel right now, like Valerie,
was the one.
She paved the way for that.
Totally.
That was fire. Hang on. Jody Lynn, simmer down, homie.
Whoa.
Simmer down. Okay. It was like literally one of my first interviews. Okay. And I had
Jody, we've missed you.
Calm down.
You've been traveling.
I know you've been on vacation and you're all hyped up and you got some sunshine on your face. Relax. I'm practicing.
She's doing the work.
Okay. I'm getting
dedicated.
Research, baby. Research. Calm down. Jesus.
Coming in hot. She's been away.
I mean, like, I wish I was on a cruise for a while. She was in like the Galapagos Islands or like whatever.
Yeah.
And like,
that's cool. I
calm
would go to
down,
the Galapagos
homie.
Islands.
Damn.
Yeah, she was traveling somewhere. Shit was fun.
Fucking me up on my own show. Hey, and you're my friend, bro.
That's what they do though.
That's all good.
That's what they do.
Dude, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this. I like it. It's so cool to get to talk and find out. I mean, I know your CrossFit story. I've been following you guys forever. That's kind of the thing. I don't like, I know like that you guys were at the games. I know all that stuff. I kind of want to know you guys and watching you do the things that you're doing right now is so totally cool. Like
That's
it's
cool. I appreciate that.
So much fun. So yeah, we'll be following you and hopefully on Monday we'll be having a fiery
ginger. He'll be surrounded by gingers.
Fiery ginger on, so I can get fucked up even more.
That'll be so fun. I can't wait to hear how he responds on stuff. It'll be so fun because it'll be questions that like you don't normally talk about, and he does. I mean, he'll get political sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He'll get political. It'll be fun.
Well, I definitely asked him, was like, hey, if you don't mind being interviewed by two lesbians, he was like, nah, fuck yeah, let's go.
That's cool.
I think most men enjoy being in the middle of two women. So I think you're just fine.
Kenneth Lap. Shut up, Kenneth.
Bill Grundler, thank you so much.
Mr. Bill Grundler, thank you so much.
No, my pleasure, guys. It was awesome.
Really
I'd love to come back anytime. Let me know.
I was gonna say, till next time.
Yeah, please.
Till next time, for sure.
It was awesome.
All right, Bill. We'll see ya.
Appreciate you. Bye.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I could
These guys are just.
Yeah, Kenneth, I'll give you a sandwich.
Oh my God, these guys are so cool,
bro. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
it was really, really awesome. It was just an amazing freaking 2 hours. Look, now you can go back and tell Chase, like, yo, I hung with the lesbians for 2 hours. You only had an hour 45, baby. What?
I think that's because he also was talking about Chase's like, I have to get more views than John Young. So right now, John Young is in the lead.
Look, I like a competitive man.
There you go.
I'm not mad at it. I love a competitive man. Let's go.
To beat everybody.
Fire. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us for 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon. I appreciate you.
So much fun.
If you haven't seen Kill Taylor, go watch that. Taylor got killed.
Please go.
But we love him anyway. And go watch Jeopardy.
Just pay attention to everybody on the side because I think it was either Caleb or Pedro were my favorite
It was
reactions. And then
hysterical.
Sevon was just, he was like the nervous dad that's like, God, I'm sweating.
Sweating.
Like, I can't take this. This is too much.
And then if you haven't gone and seen Jeopardy on Bill's podcast, Get With the Programming with Hiller on it, go watch that.
Yep.
Freaking fire. It was hysterical. It's been the
So
best
funny.
2 days. So
So funny.
appreciate y'all.
And
Thanks
we'll
for hanging out.
See you Monday.
And we'll see you Monday.
Clinton, thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.